So here we are at the Resilience Conference in Stockholm. We have been here for 3 days, enjoying a lot of science around resilience. I'm Pella Thiel. I'm from Transition Network Sweden, and I have
Picavea from Transition Brazil.
And
Giulio from Transition Italy.
Giulio, you don't have a surname, you're incognito.
Yes, Giulio Pesenti Campagnoni. Okay?
Oh, thank you. So we thought we would reflect from a transition movement perspective on this conference, and I wondered, do you want to start, Giulio? How was it? What are you thinking about this event?
Well,
you can hold this.
Yeah, it's been my first big academic conference, so I had a lot of expectations, and I think in some way it was like I was expected, and there are like 1,000 participants from all over the world, infinite number of sessions, so it was really hard to choose where to go in every time. So for me it was really interesting to meet people from around the world, especially the ones that are more or less connected with transition, or that has a transition approach, or that is work with resilience and local resilience mainly. And with other academics, it's been much harder for me. And but you know.
So what's hard?
Yeah, I'm not an academic, so we have different languages, I think. I have a much simpler language, you know, when I speak with other people, and also this, I think it is a language that I use with the local community. So in this environment, it seems very distant from you know, from the majority of people in the world, you know, so it's hard to feel connected at the same level of the academics here. It's okay.
Let's keep it a bit short. Monica, what reflections do you have?
I have many reflections about many things, but what I believe that we have and that we need, that's something that we're talking about with many of the academic people here, was that we need to join forces, because it can be academic world and the real world. There is only one world, and we have to take these experiences and put them on field and see how it works, because most of time we are always looking for a side or something that's gonna, you know, the Saint Grail. You know, the Saint Grail, I think that we are always looking for something that's gonna make it. And I just believe that we together are gonna make it. And the academic people, and what I see here is lots of people thinking, but it's incredible, because I wasn't expecting so much people doing things. I was expecting more thinkers than doers. And what I really believe is that there are many solutions that we can put on a field and try to work with. Specifically about transition, I believe there are good things about resilience that we can use for bad or for good, but as Giulio used to say. But for good, I think that to help us to make a resilient movement, but for bad not, but for good too, to look for the system that we are and how we can break the resilience of it. I think that has to be both movements, not only advance, but break the resilience of them. I think this is something that we need to look for, and I think that's a big contribution for us.
Wow. Yeah, welcome Juan from Transition Spain, and we are sharing reflections of this conference that we've been participating in, and I'm going to share mine first, and then you can go. Okay. And I am quite struck by how it was like infused. We've been talking a lot about transformational change, and how many of the presentations have actually, described features of the transition movement. It's like coming back again and again, the importance of local action, community action, and the importance of personal transformation. I think that's been running throughout. And it's also been said that, we need to get these models out. The models that we make out in science, we have to get them out so that practitioners can use them. And actually, the work that's been presented here is something that we've been using for years. And that's intriguing to me, that sort of we don't meet, really, I think. Yeah. Juan.
Thank you, Pella.
Not very close. Not so close.
Like this? Okay. Thank you. So, well, this has been my second resilience conference. And I've seen some evolution in the content, if I compare with the other one. In this conference, for me, the emphasis in transformation has been very strong, and this is one of the most positive things that I take, because we are not talking too much about the context, but we are starting to talk more and more about how we can make change happen. However, it's always a contradiction how within the academy, how within the science, and how in a conference like this one that is so strong, so important, with people from 70 countries, we talk about transformation and action and doing, but I don't know, we can't really see action here in this conference. I think that as somebody that has been, as all of you, working on the ground for many years, you realize that things that they are talking here, there's things that you have been working with, not right now, but like already like 10 years ago, no? So I feel that there's a bridge that needs to be built. I know that from practitioners, practitioners, that's the word that science uses, but sometimes it feels like, okay, we are both because we are science and practitioners are there. So people that they are just trying to change the world, and people that they are trying to observe and analyze the world. And as me personally, but many others here, that we are in both sides, I think one of the main challenges is how to realize that all these things are parts of the same equation. And because science has become also, in a way, one of our main religions, let's say, because no, if science says this, we believe this. For many of the population, it's like this. So if we are able to work together, we can make transition to have a much stronger impact. That's why projects like ECOLIS, like Transition Research Network, and others, they are trying to build bridges, but this is still very, very small. Yeah, that's for the moment.
Yeah, and I think actually there was a paper out recently from Stockholm Resilience Center asking for more connections between research and practice, and I think a question from here is still what does that look like? Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you done? Yes. No, continue. Continue a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone wants to cut.
About 3 more things. Yeah.
A few more things.
Yeah, few more minutes.
Yeah, I think that one of our roles here is that there's a massive need to bring and spread the concept of resilience all around the world, I think, in this moment. And if there's the dangerous thing that this theories remains in a bubble outside the real world, I I see myself as like the facilitators that can take these theories here and bring in some simpler way or in some in another language to the local communities, to municipalities, to the industries. Especially, I think I live in Italy, so even in industries, enterprises are very small with family ones. So it's very hard to bring these concepts, in an academic way. So I think that our role can be just to be the bridge between these two words.
What I see that we have to take care of is that we always talk about academy, but about science. That there are two points of science. One that's looking for patterns that are already working, and trying to test them in an empirical and organized methodology to become science, right? But we are really important for many times because specifically they have to see the pattern in the world, and I believe that we are building it. That's what you were saying, that there are things that we are talking about for so long, and now they got it. Yeah, they got it. Good. So because we need more than 30% people, and when science gets, more people can have it. Mm-hmm. And I believe that the language is the thing. They say things in a way that some people can understand. We say things in a way that another people can understand. Yeah. But we need all of them saying the same, because even they are saying something that we always had, that we have to change the mindset. That's the first point. So we start for ourselves and change the mindset. But it's important to change our own mindset, but it's important to influence people to change their own mindsets too, because if we don't do that, things are not going on.
Just to add something quickly about the language that you were mentioning. In order to make different communities like science, like civil society and many others together, we need to build a common ground, a common language. Yeah. And it has been interesting how in all these kind of conferences, they are always in the head, always very intellectual, and this is very interesting, but sometimes it's a little bit even too much. And they try to put some tiny moments of music or of something more sensorial, movement and so on, and you realize how in these specific moments everyone really connects. Yes. Yeah. So, and I think this is not only for this kind of community within the academy, but it goes beyond. Yeah. So we need to find these languages, and I think emotions they aren't words, but they are emotions, no? But they are a way to communicate much more. So if in the next conference they could be able to at least go a little bit out of their comfort zones and, I don't know, be open to ask to people like us and many others that we work with different languages, and at least to be able to facilitate few of these spaces, not a lot, but with other tools, with other languages, and combine them. I think that could be a very interesting way, that it could open many of their, they will grow a lot, the same that we can grow from their papers, I'm putting papers at the same level that more inner transformational experiences. So I think that also in this conference they have tried to show few of these connections with art and music and so on, a little bit more than in the last one. But still, I think we need a major shift into this, and I think that can be, I don't know, like a feedback for them, and yeah.
In a way to how it looked like.
Yeah, it's interesting that in the beginning, in the first plenary speech, I think was mentioned that we live in the age of emotions. And now in the final, it was called for a mind shift, as you said. And I think maybe the word mind shift is telling. It might be a larger shift than a mind shift that's needed. And I think that's also vital to deal with, complexity and change. That's a vital part of resilience. We need to, use more of ourselves.
Yeah. And I'd like to say something about the mindset, the mind shift, and so on. That we have seen how resilience is a word that is used more and more, but resilience in itself is a property of a system. It's not good in itself. There's many systems that we would like to disappear, and they are very resilient.
Yeah.
So, and here, okay, and here there's many beliefs that they are in the old paradigm while we talk about resilience.
Definitely.
So there's many people that they don't think they think about growth and many of these things that I think they are far beyond for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think we're done because everybody's changing. It's closing the stage, just waiting for us.
You're just waiting for us. Thank you for your patience.
Next one.
thank you so much.
Was it right? That's cool.
Tack.